सॅलिटा रिओ लक्झरी ब्रँडकडून सर्वोत्कृष्ट लॅबमध्ये तयार करण्यात आलेल्या उत्कृष्ट गुणवत्तेच्या हिऱ्यांची विक्री केली जाते. आज त्यांनी पुण्यातील फिनिक्स मार्केट सिटी मॉलमध्ये त्यांच्या नवीन शोरूमची सुरुवात केली. लॅबमध्ये तयार करण्यात येणाऱ्या हिऱ्यांच्या बाजारपेठेतील नामवंत ब्रँड असून या ब्रँडची सुरुवात प्रसिद्ध बॉलिवूड नट आणि निर्माते विवेक ओबेरॉय यांनी केली असून त्यांच्या हस्ते स्टोअरची सुरुवात करण्यात आली. या शाही सोहळ्याच्या वेळी उपस्थित मान्यवरांमध्ये ओबेरॉय यांच्यासह त्यांचे सहसंस्थापक श्री विकी वसनंदानी आणि श्री सतीश दर्यारानी यांचा समावेश होता. लॅबमध्ये तयार केलेले हिरे हे अतिशय नियंत्रित वातावरणात आणि अत्याधुनिक तंत्रज्ञानाने युक्त प्रक्रियांसह तयार करण्यात येत असून या प्रक्रिया म्हणजे जसे हिरे पृथ्वीच्या पोटातील नैसर्गिक पद्धतीने तयार केले जातात. सॉलिटेरियाकडून उच्च गुणवत्तेनं युक्त दागिने हे वाजवी किमतीत उपलब्ध करून देण्यात येत असून त्याला पर्याय म्हणजे लॅबमध्ये तयार केलेले हिरे हा उत्तम पर्याय आहे.
ड्यूरिंग द बजट उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बातें कही लैब ग्रोन के बारे में, तो इससे लोगों में ये चीज़ स्प्रेड हुई कि एक बहुत रियल चीज़ है, बहुत सॉलिड चीज़ है, अच्छी इन्वेस्टमेंट है, ना कि कोई पॉन्जी स्कीम या फ्रॉड स्कीम. नहीं तो लोगों को लगता है कि ये नकली डायमंड तो नहीं है, बट ये असली डायमंड है, सर्टिफाइड है. एंड इसीलिए हम इतने कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ में सॉलिटेरियो अपने प्रोडक्ट के लिए कैशबैक गारंटी देता है, तो लोग बहुत कंफर्टेबली आते हैं और ख़रीदते हैं. आप देख रहे हैं कि हमें एक्चुअली 4:30 बजे का लॉन्च था, लेकिन हम लोगों को रोक नहीं पाए. बोनी लक्ष्मी ने चाहा कि जल्दी आ जाए, तो बोनी जल्दी हो गई एंड वी आर ऑलरेडी सेलिंग एंड पीपल आर एक्साइटेड. काय म्हणायचं तुम्ही सांगा, मी म्हणतोय. आय लव्ह यू पुणे. या तुम्ही इथे या, माझा स्टोर आहे सॉलिटेरियो फिनिक्स मार्केट सिटी मॉलमध्ये. या बघा आणि मला खूप प्रेम आणि शुभेच्छा आणि आशीर्वाद द्या. हाँ क्या बोल रहे हैं? हाँ अरे सो स्वीट यार, थैंक यू. आता रहूँगा यार, पुणे में तो बहुत प्यार मिलता है हमको. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. I think Pune is not just a place for us in terms of our stores, but Pune is also something which is very special to our heart, क्योंकि पुणे में ही सॉलिटेरियो का दिल है. यहाँ ही हमारी फैक्ट्री है, यहाँ ही हम वर्ल्ड क्लास डिज़ाइंस क्रिएट करते हैं. Satish, Ricky, my partners have been traveling the world doing this as rock stars, the best designs, the best finish, the best quality. जहाँ पे आप यूरोप में जाएं, मिलान, पेरिस, लंदन, wherever you go, that quality of design is now available right here in Pune. If you look at these designs, you see how amazing these designs are, and the finish is so incredible. And this has all been done right here in Pune at our own factory, Solitario की हमारी फैक्ट्री. यहाँ पे हमारे कारीगर हैं, काम इतना अच्छा कर रहे हैं. And the idea was कि 3 चीज़ें हैं. एक, ये डिज़ाइंस इंटरनेशनल क्वालिटी के हैं. 2, ये जो प्राइसिंग है ये बहुत स्मार्ट है, बिकॉज आप अगर नेचुरल डायमंड के साथ कुछ सेटिंग खरीदने जाओगे तो उसके कंपैरिजन में 60-70-80% का डिफरेंस आता है. तो इंसान को लगता है कि आई कैन बाय बेटर पीसेस, बिगर पीसेस. सॉलिटेरियो को अपने प्रोडक्ट में इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है कि हम कैशबैक तक देते हैं हमारे कस्टमर्स को कि अगर आपको चीज़ रिटर्न करनी है तो हमारी वैल्यू हम खुद जानते हैं कि ये चीज़ बहुत सॉलिड है, और कस्टमर्स आज तक जो ले गए हैं किसी को वापस रिटर्न करने का ही नहीं है. तो इट्स बिन अ वेरी गुड एक्सपीरियंस. और तीसरी बात ये कि ये क्रूल्टी फ्री है. ब्लड डायमंड्स के बारे में हम सुनते रहते हैं, पिक्चरें भी बनी हैं. अफ्रीका में जिस तरह से बच्चों पर शोषण किया जाता है.
So a very good afternoon to all of you and a very warm welcome. My name is Drishti and I'm going to be your host for this lovely afternoon. So once again, a very warm welcome to all of you gathered here. The topic for today is the future of jewelry business, financing private equity opportunities powered by Innovate Talks. Our first speaker for today is Mr. Anil Prabhakar. Mr. Prabhakar is a luxury and lifestyle marketing and PR communication professional with a domain expertise in luxury, fashion, jewelry, and watches. He holds a degree in science with postgraduate qualifications in management and law. Anil is an award-winning marketing consultant to watch, jewelry, and event companies. So without further ado, let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Anil Prabhakar. Thank you, Mr. Prabhakar. I would now like to invite our next speaker. He is director of Lemon Consulting Group and RSM India. With a direct reporting team of 500 people, Lemon Consultech has offices in India, UAE, USA, Hong Kong, and Botswana. RSM India is a part of RSM International, the sixth largest accounting consulting group worldwide with offices in 120 countries. With that, let's give a big round of applause as we invite Mr. Neerav Jogani on stage. Thank you, Mr. Jogani. Our last speaker for this session is Mr. Satish Daryanani. He is born and based in India. Satish is an astute businessman who has set up highly successful business ventures across the Bahamas, Caribbean islands, and the United States. With over 4 decades of experience in jewelry and luxury retail industry, Satish is credited to be one of the largest suppliers of natural diamonds in the Bahamas and Caribbean islands. He is known to have built and scaled retail businesses with legacy luxury brands such as Fendi, Armani, Montblanc, Tag Heuer, among others. Now let's invite Ms. Darya on stage to take over. Thank you, Mr. Darya. And with that, we open the session for all of you.
Hello. Good afternoon, guys. So what I would request, there are a lot of empty seats, and please move forward. We are not going to charge any premium. And this is all about money. ये धंधे की बात है, धन की बात है. तो जितना आगे से सुनोगे, उतना ही आपको benefit होगा. So just to gauge the audience profile, how many of you want to invest in companies? Can you please raise hand? Nobody wants to invest? Oh, fantastic. How many of you would seek investment from investors? Wow, that's good. So you are at the right place. We have 2 gentlemen here. One of them, Neerav, has a 100 million fund that invests in good companies. Now, and Satish is one guy who has raised money from private equity, high net worth individuals, basically. So, and you will wonder, you have an investor and you also have an investee. Now, many of you would like to know how to go about raising funds. So, Neerav can help you in. So, he wears 2 hats, and I think that's a wonderful thing. You will definitely go home today with a lot of concrete insights and maybe a business possibility as well. Okay, now I would like to just briefly talk about these 2 veterans. I am not a veteran. I'm just felicitating and I'm learning from these 2 guys. So I met Neerav very recently in July. We met in Dubai. And the forum was Lab-Grown Diamond Conclave. Well, I had heard about Neerav because he's a very well-known figure. We had never met face to face. And what caught my attention was he was a participant in one of the sessions. What do you see in the sessions? In any panel discussion, we find mostly the same people giving their PR pitches with cultivated accents and, using jargon. Neerav is a breath of fresh air. He has a conceptual framework. The way he articulates. Don't take my word for it because he is going to make a presentation. Now, about Satish. How many of you have heard about PIF, Pune International Film Festival? Any film buffs? Oh, at least there is one. So I am a movie buff and I enjoy watching films. Last year in February, I went to Pune all the way just to attend the film festival. Now the film festival happens in 2, 3 venues, and one of the venue was Pavilion Mall, which is on Senapati Bapat Road. So as it happened, I watched one movie, and the second movie there was a gap of 90 minutes. So I grabbed a sandwich and I was loitering. So on the ground floor, while I was loitering and browsing, I noticed a shop, not a shop really, it is a kiosk, which said Solitario and lab-grown diamond jewelry. I said, wow. So I went and entered the store and I asked, they thought I am a customer. I said, I am not a customer, I am an industry analyst, I am a journalist. So, okay, then you meet our partner. And there I met Satish. And Satish usually is overdressed today, otherwise he wears shorts. Even, even when he's in the shop, he wears shorts. And we started talking. And after February, I again went there because I wanted to know more about him and his company. So he invited me to his factory. He has set up a factory, diamond cutting and polishing factory in Pune. I am sure not many of you know, because when you're talking about cutting, polishing of diamonds, it is either Mumbai or in Surat. I was pleasantly surprised. And he shared his plans, and he was talking really on a macro level. So, being an analyst and a critic, I punctured his balloon. I said, बात तो बहुत कर रहे हो. इंडिया में धंधा करना और यूएस में धंधा करना बहुत. बोला अनिल तू देख. And he was talking about opening stores and अभी एक भी दुकान नहीं खुल रही है तो बहुत आदमी बात कर रहा है. But let me tell you, in less than a year, he has set up 10 stores. And he proved me wrong. So I'm very happy that he proved me wrong, because none of us can say that we are right all the time. And where we are proved wrong, you know, we tend to be humble. Because nobody can be right 100% of the time. So I'm very happy that Satish is here with us and he has proved me wrong. अब आप बोलोगे ये तो इसकी बढ़ाई कर रहा है. Let me come to the point. धंधा करने के लिए पैसे लगते हैं भाई. So how to raise money? Satish has done it. And normally what you find? You find that when you approach a Bollywood celebrity, he will charge money for endorsement. इसने तो विवेक ओबेरॉय से पैसे लिए हैं. Vivek has invested in his company. Not only that, he is spreading his wing all over the globe. And just to tell you, I will not disclose the name, but as of last week, he got another private equity funding from a diamond heir based out of Surat. Since the details are being worked out, I cannot disclose his name because Satish has told me not to do it. So with this perspective, I would now request Nirav to go about the formal presentation. So Satish, we'll listen to him. Thank you.
So very warm good afternoon to all of you. Thank you Anil ji for the introduction and Satish ji for being on the dais. I'm a bit curious when Anil ji mentioned ki how many of you want to invest in companies. 2 or 3 people raised hands. How many want to get investment? 2, 3 people raised hand. I'm curious to know about the rest of the janta here. Like what exactly is the expectation from the session? Aapko kya sunna hai, kya janna hai? What is the kind of capacity in which you are going to listen to this session? So accordingly, I can probably fine-tune the delivery and I have a formal session. पर वो 30-35 slide का है and I'm not going to go into each of them. I'll leave more time for question answers. Probably we'll take them at the end so that we don't disturb the flow. You can note down the questions. But again, just if few of you can just stand up and speak, what do you want to hear? If you are not an investor or an investee on this subject, what is the thing that you want to hear? It will be useful for me to fine-tune my delivery. Anyone like who has not raised the hand earlier? Someone from this side, yes, please. Okay, fantastic. Anyone else? Anyone? Any other volunteer? Yes, please.
Meet, like online, offline, where can they meet?
Okay, very good. Anyone else, or does this cover your thoughts also? Like anyone else wants to just input? No? Okay, fine. So let us start. So what I've tried to cover in this session is basic understanding of what is private equity, PE space क्या है, अलग अलग टाइप के फंड राउंड होते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत जार्गन टर्मिनोलॉजी इसलिए समझ में आ जाए कि हाउ डज फंडिंग हैपन, इन्वेस्टर पीच कैसे बनता है, उसमें क्या चीज़ें होती है, अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स, मोडालिटीज फंडिंग रिलेटेड, advantages of private equity as investors also, as investees also, why this is a very important thing to happen. पिछले 5-7 साल 10 साल में अपन ये टर्म्स ज़्यादा या ज़्यादा सुन रहे हैं. Before 5-10 years in India at least, private equity investment, startups was not really a concept which had taken a lot of flight. But in the last 10 years, if you see every day in the newspaper, if you read, a lot of things constantly come up. So that is something which we'll go through. Then specifically coming to private equity in the jewelry industry or the gems and jewelry industry, what is the possibility, what are the possibilities, as well as what is happening already. So probably that will be some food for thought for some of the people here. Maybe a few case studies we'll go through, and then the startup valuations, how valuations are done. An overview, like this can be a whole day subject, so I'm not really, so excuse me if some things are crisp, but you can always reach out to me later if you want more clarity. So very simply put, what is private equity? So it is privately invested into equity is private equity. Like anything which is, any company which is listed on a stock exchange is publicly listed company, so public equity. And this is private equity, so it is unlisted companies when investment is made. It is basically private equity. It could be hedge funds, it could be high net worth individuals, it could be insurance companies, banks, it could be AIF funds. So in India, the PE investments are categorized, or largely they fall under the AIF category, alternate investment funds, which are regulated by SEBI. There are 3 kinds of funds, Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3. So category 1 is mainly startup seed funding, angel funding. Category 2 is a larger universe of companies, and category 3 could include real estate and a lot of other alternate investments, not just private equity. So again, this is a concept which is really taking off. There are thousands of new AIFs that are getting registered every day in India, and a lot of funds is being mobilized, both from within India as well as from abroad, and the investments are happening. So again, in this larger space, this is a very wide space. There could be numerous entities who are placed at different on different spectrums. So one is the angel funding, where it is very early stage, or seed funding, जिसमें बहुत छोटी अमाउंट से भी इन्वेस्ट किया है, वो आइडिया स्टेज से होता है, और उसको धीरे धीरे फिर ग्रो करके नेक्स्ट स्टेज पे ले जाया जाता है. एंड एट सर्टन स्टेजेस, सो देर आर फंड्स हु इन्वेस्ट ओनली इन कंपनीज विच हैव अ सर्टन, विच फुलफिल अ सर्टन थ्रेशोल्ड, whether it is revenues, whether it is whatever, there could be various characteristics, including कितने customers है, कितने consumers है, उसके ऊपर से funds आते हैं. But there are, so for each level of the company, there could be different funds who specialize in funding only companies within that particular bracket. There are very few companies who would operate across segments. There are also private equity funds who do strategic deals, either strategic buyouts. So some PE funds specialize into that. They take a significant minority or even a majority stake in a company, not necessarily a small startup. It is more mature businesses or later stage investments. They also take management control, and then they try to turn around the business or grow that if they believe that is that has a lot of growth potential. And there could be funds which are just opportunistic. They would come and go. They just try to get the best out of the deals that they are getting. सो अगेन जार्गन वाइज देखें, एक प्री सीड फंडिंग बोलते हैं, आइडिएशन स्टेज पे होता है, फिर सीड फंडिंग है, देन एंजल एंड वेरियस राउंड्स, उसके अंदर प्री सीरीज से लेके A, B, C सीरीज फंडिंग होता है, और उसके बाद फाइनली IPO कंपनी करती है. सो एकदम सिंपल देखें तो एक स्टेयरकेस जैसा है, क्योंकि स्ट्रेट अवे एक फंडिंग लिया और कंपनी उसके ऊपर से बहुत बड़ा स्केल अप कर पाए और सीधा IPO कर पाए, ऐसा नॉर्मली नहीं होता है. तो थोड़े थोड़े क्वांटम में फंड्स की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. एवरी ईयर देर इज़ अ नीड फॉर फंड्स टू फर्दर स्केल अप द बिजनेस, एंड देर आर डिफरेंट फंड्स हु कीप ऑन डूइंग दैट. And once it reaches a certain scale and size, then the company would go public. So a lot of recent IPOs, if you, or in the last few years, if you are seeing Zomato and Delivery, and a lot of startups have gone public, and many more are in the pipeline, Ola and a few more. So so this is for mainly the investee companies. If you are presenting to the investor, what is the kind of details that are typically there in the investor pitch, which you should keep in mind, is mainly the business model, the promoter profile, what is the problem in the market that the company is trying to solve, what is the market potential in that case, the projections for the next at least 5 years, the track record of the promoters, who are the competitors, what are they doing, how are you different than the competitors. So these are the typical questions that any investor will like to know before the fund invests into a company. Not necessarily a startup, even a mature business. These are the typical questions that will be asked by the investors, and therefore it is always important for the investee companies to compile the deck and have all the answers ready from day one. Even the risk factors, even what is the deal that is being proposed. So we'll come to the various forms of finance, raising finance, and it could be a very structured deal as well. So these are the different funding methods, sort of equity, debt, and then something in between, which is the hybrid. In equity, it could be direct sale of equity, or it could be compulsorily convertible preference shares. So this is a quasi-equity kind of instrument. Especially this is used when the valuation as of now is not something which can be easily determined. So then it is conditional upon certain things happening, certain benchmarks or thresholds being achieved on the performance, and then it is converted, the preference shares get converted into equity shares. So that is also a kind of equity or quasi-equity instrument. On the debt, it could be venture debt, which is very different from the typical debt from the banks or financial institutions. Typically here it is a much higher rate of interest, but it is faster, and many times it gets converted again into equity at a later stage. So it can have a nature of a convertible or a non-convertible debt. So this is the chart of the number of deals that are happening, and in terms of value, the PE or VC investments happening in India. And as you can see, this is rising very, very rapidly. Again, this data is captured of the formal PE investments. There is a lot of informal high net worth individuals investing or supporting companies floated by their relatives. All those data may not be in the public domain and may not have been captured. But even otherwise, if you see, the funding and the quantum of deals are constantly going up. So when we think of this subject, so this is like private equity in itself is a very win-win proposition, whether it is for the investors, whether it is for the investees, the entire ecosystem, everyone benefits out of this. And this is very, very important to understand, especially for people in the gems and jewelry industry who have been traditionally family-run businesses. And it is an industry which is a mature industry. There is nothing very exciting happening every day in the industry. In that context, so a lot of my friends, clients, I always tell them that you need to have at least a few startups in your sort of structure, so that there is enough agility to make faster decisions, take risk, raise funds, so that the valuation game can start. especially if there are new children entering in the business, rather than just making them sit on the gaddi which is already created. And there he'll not know whether the company is growing because of his efforts or because of the legacy. And he also may not be able to do a lot of things that he would want to do. So independence may not be there. Rather than that, if a new company is created and then it could be related to the main business, but as a separate entity, a lot of space can be provided to the individual to really grow that to a certain scale and size. So whether it is for family businesses, for the new generation, this can be a very effective tool to really create new entities, raise finance, and then allow the new generation to really take that to the next level. It could be also very important for traditional businesses if they want to venture into new things. Typically, startups and new age companies are formed by young people who have come out of colleges, universities. They have new ideas. They have the passion, the fire to do something which traditional businesses lack. So rather than reinventing the wheel, rather than creating a small division within a larger organization which will not have a lot of importance in any case within that larger setup, if it is invested into a company or new sort of startup with promoters who have the right capabilities and the fire, then probably the chances of that unit or business succeeding could be much more than within the larger business. So in that context also it is very important. And for startups, कहने के लिए ज़रूरत नहीं है, if raising of finance is the most important factor, but apart from finance, getting experience of so many experienced professionals, people as mentors also can be very, very valuable. And with the sort of ecosystem around, they'll know that even if I make losses now, like